Welcome back to the Ivy Unleashed podcast. You are listening to Brooke and Andrea, Monk and Gladiator. If you were listening about 4 seconds ago, Andrea just called me a little monk she takes with me in her pocket.
She is. And
Such
not
a nice
monk,
compliment.
monkey, like monk, like a little pristine, beautiful, calming, centered. Like my energy is so like, let's go. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And Brooke is like, okay, we're getting in our bodies and we're rooting down into the earth.
You know, I struggled with fatigue for so long that I feel like I'm just fully, like, it's just become my personality. Like, maybe it wasn't fatigue. Maybe it was like my body just being like, you need to find peace and slow and calm. And so, yeah. Call me a monk, call me a yogi, call me Brooke.
And I'm here whenever you want to just ramp it up, run a marathon, lift some heavy weights, just get after it.
You know, we balance each other out very well, some may say. And we have a very exciting update that you're going to be able to see this bad duo live on Twin Cities Live.
We are going to be on TV. If you're in Minnesota and you want to see this action,
You want some of this?
and we're going to be doing some behind the scenes footage too. We are so honored. Twin Cities Live is going to highlight us October 21st. So please tune in if you're local and if you're in Minnesota. Twin Cities Live is where it's at. We love the show. We love the hosts, the producers, the whole team. Thank you for this opportunity. We are pumped.
Have you ever been live before on TV?
I mean, I was on TV. I was on ESPN one time.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I went to the Women's Open, and Nancy Lopez at the time was like the star golfer.
Okay.
And I think I was in 7th grade, and I just chopped my hair really short. And fun fact, that's how people were like, I don't know if that was Andrea because my hair was so short. But anyway, she was about to make this putt. And so I snuck, because I was little, snuck between all the people and went right behind the rope, right behind where she putted, and I got on ESPN.
There's a will, there's a way, baby.
Yeah.
She knew from that age 7 that she was born to be a star.
You know,
Get this girl on TV.
but this is going to be so fun. We've been trying to get on the show for a long time because we've wanted to highlight our business to our community, and Twin Cities Live is just huge. And so October 21st, tune in.
You know the last time I was on TV? Can you guess? You saw it.
Oh, you were at the Timberwolves game.
Yep.
Yes, in your fur coat.
Yep. Ant-Man fell on my lap courtside. The Bucks team, the Bucks head coach right there. I was like, I should probably be way more well behaved. I'm on national TV.
And it was constantly on you.
I was in a big fur coat. I was living my best life. It was
You had like
a great opportunity.
Rich energy sitting courtside with
Andrea
the fur.
sends me a photo or Snapchat and was like, if this doesn't give or abundance energy, I don't know what does.
Yeah, it was a good game too.
Yeah. So this time's going to be a little different.
Yeah.
Still very fun.
Yes, we are pumped. We are so excited. We're going to promote it so much. You're going to see it, and hopefully people will record it in case if anything goes wrong with technology. You never know.
Yeah. Honestly, it's live, so you never know. So you might want to tune in just for the fact of like, what's going to happen?
Brooke's probably going to be scared. I get a little unhinged. Sometimes I have like delusional energy, and she gets a little nervous. She'll give me a pep talk. She'll be like, okay, I know you're really excited.
I need you to be the strong one when we were in Vegas. And then after, I was like, were you nervous? And you were like, yeah. I was like, I couldn't tell. And you're like, yeah, because you wouldn't let me. I had to be the strong one.
Yeah. It's funny, like the nerves. And I'm curious to see how we feel. So we will give you the full inside scoop on what it's like looks like to even go backstage. Like, I'm so intrigued what it looks like on a TV set.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
Oh my gosh.
And it's 2 weeks away from right now. I mean, when this airs, it'll be like 6 days away.
Time flies when you're running a business. Yep. Doing big things, baby.
We have a fun episode today too. And it's kind of some surprises for each other because we talked about how like our listeners, you are such big book readers and so are we. We love reading, and we decided today that we would each bring our three of our favorite books, not maybe our top 3. I don't know.
I'm glad you say that because I'm like, it's really hard to put it And I also like, do I own all the books that I love? No, because I'm now a Kindle girly because I'm minimalistic
it's like
life.
choosing a favorite child. It's like, I mean, I've read so many books and we've had so many authors on the show to like pick your top 3. Like, no.
Yeah.
These are just 3 books that spoke to me today when I looked at all of them. I'm like, ooh.
Good, because I did the same. Yeah. I looked at my bookshelf and I was like, what would I really want to share? Like when I see it, what sparks like, oh, this made a difference. And in 3 total different areas, which I'm really excited about too.
I'm thinking of the order I want to do mine in. I think I'm going to do mine in chronological order of when I read them and why they were important.
Oh, like the season of life you were in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to
do that? Hold on. Let me get my books.
Okay.
Don't
my
look.
Books.
I'm feeling
What
kind
is
of
she?
silly.
What is she?
Okay,
got over there.
I had this.
I think I see someone.
I had friends over this weekend, and so we were cleaning, Ian and I, and there was a Kleenex box that definitely is for young children, but I bought it at Target. And on the side had all emotions, and then it had like the name of the emotions. And I was in such a goofy mood. I come downstairs, I show Ian the box. I was like, these are what emotions are. And then I point to this certain one. I go, this is me. And it's silly. So I've been embodying that all weekend. Just a silly girl. Okay.
I love it.
All right. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Book number 1. The reason we are here today.
Oh God. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Oh, we should guess. Okay. Big Magic.
Big Magic. So this book is by Elizabeth Gilbert, and Big Magic. I'm like, what a weird name. Like, what does that mean? And I was at work and my friend Ashley at the time was reading it and she's like, you haven't read this book yet?
Just book shaming you.
Yeah. Well, Elizabeth Gilbert wrote Eat, Pray, Love. So she's like super famous author. She's amazing. She's such a beautiful person inside and out. And this book is basically saying like, we all have these callings, these messages that come to us, these creative ideas. And if we don't jump on them, somebody else will. They come to you as like this gift. And she believes that if you don't take the opportunity, it kind of leaves you. And then maybe other ones will come, and they certainly do. But she inspires you to understand that, okay, for example, the reason why Ivy Unleashed exists is because, you know, Brooke and I both, in our minds, it's like there's a million podcasts. To be a fact is there's 3.4 million podcasts now, but at the time there's like a million podcasts. Why would people listen to us? You know, and you have those imposter syndrome feelings. But this book is like explaining to you, there's literally nobody else like you. You are uniquely made. You have gifts, you have talents, you have a story, you have had experiences that nobody has had like you. And what a beautiful way to express it. If you enjoy talking, you enjoy conversation, you want to help people, you know who you want to talk to. Like Brooke and I know we wanted to talk to women, and we knew we had this passion and expertise for health and wellness. And so Elizabeth Gilbert really inspired me to think like, I do have a story. I do have this gift of helping people feel heard and loved and seen. So having guests is so much fun and fulfilling. Talking with you has like, it's helped our relationship. It's helped other people to be vulnerable, to share their stories, you know? And so I read this book during COVID, and like a week later said, Brooke, like, I think you're the person that I want to do this with. And
I said, I'm honored. My God. We'll get this girl a Kleenex. Yeah. And the rest is history. All because of a book.
Yep.
Not all because of a book, but the book sparked magic.
Truly.
Big magic.
Big magic. And we used to and we still say this, like if I'm on a run, I'm having all these ideas, I will just text her big magic. Like I'm having really big creative ideas, and which is tricky to capture on a run.
And then she'll send a Snapchat that is probably 17 slides long of her out of breath running, but there is big magic in there.
I've
Good
gotten
ideas.
better at not doing that and capturing it myself, and then deciding, am I going to execute this or not? Because there's a lot of ideas that come.
But I think like if you're feeling unfulfilled, you're not feeling creative, you're feeling like you just need to relight that spark, it is such a good book. Even if you don't do anything with it, just putting yourself in that state of mind where then magic can be created, I think is really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a really well-written book.
Yeah. Okay, this tees me up perfect. So speaking of Ivy Unleashed, We love guests. And a dream of ours came true when we had the author of this book on our show. The one and only Jessie Golden.
Oh, show him that beautiful book.
And the reason I love this book, Jessie is a yogi. And so like right now in this season of life speaks to me. But also this book, so it's the Golden Secrets to Optimal Health. And it's basically everything I learned over the years about holistic health, on how given the right environment, your body's meant to thrive. And Jessie so beautifully breaks it down into nature, laughing, Mother Earth, gratitude, heal thyself, chew your food, intermittent fasting, gluten-free. Like there's just so much. And it's also different.
And tangible.
Yes. Like toxin-free. There's pictures in here. It's amazing. And it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like digestible.
Yes.
Like it is very easy to digest. It's not this huge book on all of this science. And, she really breaks it down to like human to human. Let me help you feel good.
Mm-hmm. And we've had so many people that have bought that book and have had the same experience. I feel like too, it's a beautiful like coffee book.
Yes.
For like a household that's really into health.
People
and
are like, who's that babe? Who's that beauty? Oh, it's just my friend Jessie.
Well, I feel like too, we're like Jessie's hype girls. We're like, get her skincare. She does have a podcast. She hasn't aired any in a while, but she's got this book. She has such a beautiful presence online, not only with her skincare too, she also does tutorials because like, how do you use a dry brush, copper dry brush? How do you use a gua sha tool? These things that I am very happy to admit that I have no idea what I'm doing. And Jessie has helped me figure it out.
She like does a good job of normalizing the woo-woo. If that makes sense, of like, okay, you're doing this thing, you're speaking on all of the benefits, but I don't know how to make that a part of my routine. Mm-hmm. She's like, let me show you. And there's no excuses because we can all do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think about her too. She's really changed my relationship with the sun. And I know she has for you too, where we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't wear sunglasses right now. Maybe we
should suntan my butthole.
Maybe we should be naked outside. It might be awkward for our neighbors, but you know what? You live one life.
Yeah.
And
it's getting back to the simple things. Like, yes, she talks about a gluten-free diet and, she lists on social media all of her products, but what she really speaks to is nature. Getting back to healing yourself the way nature intended you to do. Mm-hmm. Foods you're eating, your exposure, moving your body. Like it doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to have all of these products. Yes, they're great, but anyone can do it.
And get excited because you might see Jessie Golden again on IV Unleashed very soon. Number 2, my second book, came in the midst of Ivy Unleashed. One of the best books I've ever read. One of the best books I've ever read in my life. The Boundary Boss with the one and only Terry Cole. This happens to be her workbook, which is also amazing. So a little different twist on this.
All right. I would throw a flag because you don't have it. And that was part of the rules. But this counts too.
I actually lent it to a friend that desperately needed to set some boundaries. And she has since also bought the workbook. So, help a friend
out. And it's helped her.
And it's helped her. Yes. So The Boundary Boss is a book that even if like for me, I'm really good at setting boundaries and Brooke is like more of the person that's like, okay, I need to set some firmer boundaries. Like in that episode, we talked about how I'm the powerhouse and you're the pushover and how we both need to like, whatever for friendships, relationships, business, whatever. Everybody can work on their boundaries. But this book, the way that Terry wrote it is so important, I think, for everybody to read because it really opens your eyes to kind of everything that you're doing. It's like you're showing people how to treat you. You're showing people how to communicate with you. You're showing people the real you if you've set healthy boundaries. And she teaches you how to communicate it effectively in a way that's not so harsh. Because like it's easy to like set a boundary when you're all pissed and offended and triggered. And she's saying like, no. Like take a breath and recognize where's the wound? Like what happened before this, that this is such a big signal for you. And there's nothing wrong that you're having this big signal that you're triggered at all. But it's like, let's get, what does she call it? the blueprint, the boundary blueprint of like, why is this so important for me to focus on? And how can I protect my energy around this?
Yeah.
How can I recognize how I might be codependent or trying to control or whatever? And so she really just, I think, gives people language that have like, you can be a beginner with boundaries, you could be advanced with boundaries, but Terry Cole is just such a to the point writer, but then also weaved in stories of her clients and herself in this book. And I feel like to have a workbook go with it too, it's just like, if you need any help with boundaries, Terry Cole's your girl.
And I think like the whole blueprint idea is a blueprint on how to emotionally be okay. Like how to protect yourself, your energy, so that, like, because right, I'm thinking your emotions stem, like being sick is manifested by your emotions and your thoughts that you're having and all of this. And so like it does go beautifully with Jesse's book of, hey, here are all of the ways you can heal your body. But if you're not taking care of your mental health, and boundaries is such a huge piece of that, so good.
Yeah.
And her term, the Zen Den, that's where we got that from. Like, where in your house can you make your Zen Den, your safe space?
Yeah, forgot about that.
Where, you journal and you do nourish you.
I don't know why I'm thinking of this. I just listened to an episode with Tansy from Turn Up with Tansy. And I think their podcast is called The Tansy and Chandler Show, her and her sister. It's so good if you haven't listened to it. But she just did a solo episode and it was so powerful. She's just going through like a lot, like digging through her emotions right now and talking about how she has ADHD and just like how much that's affected her in her life. And she's just like really being vulnerable. And it was really powerful. She was saying that, a lot of times we think about boundaries with other people or our relationships with other people and how they're critical of what we're doing or whatever. But she's like, the biggest critic and battle anybody will have is the one inside yourself, the one 100%. With your own brain, with your own doubts, your own critic in here. And she's like talking about how not to like overcome yourself, but almost like set some energetic boundaries around how you talk to yourself, how you care for yourself. So Jessie Golden's book, Pairing with Terry Cole's, is like, how can you care for yourself in a new way that kind of shushes the inner critic or helps you to have the energy to work on the things that, like you want to have a really successful podcast. You got to work hard at it. You got to put your reps in. You got to get better before it's going to blow up. You can't just like expect to have this #1 podcast if you don't like work on yourself, but in a way that's not like I suck. It's like, I should probably get some more sleep. I'm going to set some boundaries around how to care for myself so I can go after the thing 110% that I'm excited about, that I'm passionate about.
Setting boundaries. Man, I'm here for it. I am so here for it, which tees me up perfect for my next book, Protect Your Peace by Trent Shelton. We haven't really talked a lot about Trent Shelton's
Shelton. Friends with Tansy. She was just on a stage. Man.
The universe doing weird things. I love Trent Shelton. He has a great podcast, and this book was actually gifted to me by my boyfriend's stepmom. Shout out Ivy. And
hey, Ivy, what up? Ivy's reading Trent Shelton?
Oh, she's a big Trent Shelton girl.
My
She loves Trent Shelton. This book it's about focus. It's about limiting beliefs. It's putting your prescription lens on, like just reading some headers through it. Again, with
prescription lens?
Yeah, like how you're viewing the world.
Ooh, okay.
Looking for your worth. Like he covers so many topics, but the main thing, it all comes back to this idea of your energy is a gift. Your peace, you have to protect it at all costs. Like if you want to do anything big, if you want to be the mother you want to be, the friend you want to be, like you have to be okay. And let's get back to that. Let's turn the phone off. Think about what actually matters. Being present. Like it's just,
What's that page say?
I was drawn, you're a choice away from a new beginning and a commitment away from a new life.
Ooh.
Like it's not earth-shattering things like scientific studies. It's like things that, some tough love. Like, hey, you're going to need to read this probably once a month because life gets lifey. And I think when I chose these books this morning, it was like, what is the most digestible that you can pick up at any time and find value from?
So Protect Your Peace by Trent Shelton is something you leave on the bookshelf whenever you're feeling like I'm not in a peaceful spot. I need a little tough love, but like the goal here is to mentally be okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
God didn't give them the vision, so stop expecting them to see it. Bam! Mic drop. You know, it's
like that. It's like you don't need the validation. It's your vision. Go after it unapologetically, not needing the validation.
Yes.
I love that.
You know, whatever it is you're worrying about, I want you to work on letting it go. It's a weight you don't need to carry. These really good reminders of this internal battle with yourself. It is that criticism that maybe we need to turn that volume down, turn the volume up on some other things. I love, he used to be in the NFL. He's giving like preacher vibes, Eric Thomas vibes, that type of energy that I just, like, it all comes from a place of like godly love is how it feels.
Love some godly love.
Godly love. I don't know where that came from.
You can't go wrong with godly love. But I mean, it does sound like that. It truly sounds like letting the worries go, getting back to like a grounded, peaceful place. And sometimes it's working on yourself. Sometimes it's letting things go. Sometimes it's...
Yeah. It's about protecting your peace in more ways than just setting boundaries. Like disconnecting and, you know, just looking through these chapters, demand your worth, trust your vision, shift your perspective. So it's a great read.
Love it.
That's why I chose it.
All right. Well, my last book is what I'm reading right now. Oh, just thought I'd tell the people. I'm not going to give you a total inside scoop because, you know, who knows how long this journey will go with me. But, well, actually,
how long
two things.
This journey will go with me, meaning what?
I'll explain. Well, first of all, this is my 31-day Bible reading plan. Shout out to Pastor Joe Boyd. I'm on day 15 here.
Oh.
This is my bookmark.
Are you reading the Bible?
This Naked Mind.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, this book is so good. So this book is called This Naked Mind, Control Alcohol, Find Freedom, Discover Happiness, and Change Your Life. So my friend, and who's also been on the podcast a few times, Dr. Brittany Matthews, she's a psychologist, and we talk about alcohol all the time, just like how much are we drinking right now and how's our mental health? Like it's just like a full mental health check-in type of friendship. Like how's your marriage? How do you feel as a mother? Like she's like the friend of mine that we can be really honest with each other. And she's like, you know, like she asked me the question, when you met with Dr. Tara Woodland, did you tell her how much alcohol you drink like on a weekend? And I was like, I think so. Like she asked me questions like that. She's like, are you being fully honest about every part of your health type of friend? Like she's just like,
she's a gem.
She really is. And so we were talking about alcohol and I was just saying, oh, I just had a birthday party with my neighbor and we were out on this boat, just like talking about how much I drank in the day. And then I was feeling super anxious the next day. And I've talked about this a million times. So she's kind of like, okay, we're talking about the same thing again.
I'm just going to ship you a book.
Yeah. She goes, okay, I know I've mentioned this book to you like 5 times, but you really should read This Naked Mind. It is so beautifully written. And what the book is about is the honest truth about alcohol. And it's not just like talking about what alcohol is and like science, but it's also trying to get to the subconscious mind, because consciously we all know, oh, like we're thinking, oh, it looks sophisticated. It looks sexy. It makes everything more fun. I feel like I can just let loose, blah, blah, blah. And this book kind of like debunks all of those things. It's like, you actually didn't have more fun. If you think about it, when you went to a high school dance and you weren't drinking, you had a lot of fun. You were dancing. You didn't need alcohol. You were with friends. You didn't need alcohol. You know, there's a lot of things we do without alcohol and we still have fun. So it's just like an example, but it's getting to the subconscious of truly having your body and your brain absorb what alcohol is doing to your body, what it does to your relationships, that it truly is an addictive substance, and just helping you understand what you're doing by having it in your body and just unconsciously grabbing it or telling yourself these things that aren't actually true about it. And so it's such a good read. The author is Annie Grace, and she weaves in her story of how she gave it up. And she was like super high up in a company, drinking a lot on these business trips, having drinks on the plane, and it's a different time zone than home, so she can drink in the morning. You know, like how it's like you justify these things and it's really detrimental to your health.
And it's really easy to justify.
Yeah. And it's really accessible. It's so easy to, everybody else is doing it. Why not me too? Like it's such an easy thing. And I know people get really weirded out about this topic, and it's something that we've talked about a lot, but it's because it truly does affect our health. And this is a health and wellness podcast.
And we're talking about our own experiences. We're not telling you shouldn't drink.
Yeah.
We're saying, hey, here's what we're noticing. And it's consuming our thoughts enough where we feel the need to talk about it on our podcast.
Yeah. And it's actually like whenever we talk about it, it's when we get the most feedback that's positive and negative. So it's like, all right, keep it coming. I don't care. But yeah, at this point, I haven't drank in 3 weeks, and just, I do this often. I have a family history of alcoholism. And so I'm always, as a mother, I feel like I always have to prove to myself, I don't need it, or I don't want it, or I'm not dependent on it. But if you feel like you're not addicted to alcohol, I would encourage you to give it up for 30 days. And even when you're thinking about that, what happens in your body? What happens in your mind? To not drink for 30 days. If you think you're not addicted to it, try it and see what happens.
And also, it's their journey.
Yep.
Right? Something is going to come up for you that says, I do or I don't want to. And the people who do, those are the people that want to tune in because they need the support. They need the talk around, hey, it's possible, and here's what we're noticing, and here's what's helping get us through that validation of, okay, I'm not crazy for wanting to give up this substance that is so popular for everyone else. And maybe it makes me the black sheep because I'm the one in my friend group that doesn't want to drink. I think the longer I go without it and the more I experiment with it, I have come to the realization of I don't have to explain myself. And for so long, I would get worked up on like, how am I going to explain why I'm not drinking? I need a challenge. I need this. And it's finally just come to the point of like, I'm good, thanks. Move on. Like, make the decision and stop having all the fluff around why you made the decision. How are you going to keep your, just make the decision and go. Same thing with anything health related of like, you're doing the challenge, you're doing it, make the commitment, don't think, and just do it. Because the more energy you give it, the more space it takes up in your brain. Like that's why I found having a challenge where it was like end all, nope, you can't do it, hard line, made it so much easier. And that's why I kept wanting to challenge myself. And I'm like, what if you just decide no? And there's always going to be, when I'm in those social situations of, oh man. And if I can just create some space of like walk up, get to the bathroom, or like play a game with myself of, okay, next time the server comes around, I'll like delay that has been really helpful for me. So it's all like finding what works for you, what games you need to play with yourself. Like it's silly, but that's how powerful the brain is.
Well, in this book, it's changing my view. I'm not like, oh man, I wish I could. I don't want to. Like, it's changing. The goal of the book is to get to the subconscious level of why would I want to? Like, I don't want it. I don't need it. Yeah, it's available, but like, why would I do that to myself?
Like I'm still associating alcohol with relaxing and having fun, and every time I drink it, I don't feel that way. But it's so subconscious.
Yes.
For so many years, that's what it was.
Got a book for you.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm almost done though. You read like a chapter a day or two, just because it is a lot of information, and it is like retraining your brain to be like, oh, yeah. Like I have 30 some years of seeing these images and seeing the people around me, and it's so normalized to like undo that. Like
it's going to take time to undo.
So I'm only like reading a chapter a day, and that's what she suggests, and it's super good. And Annie Grace, we would love to have you on the podcast because you are a beautiful author.
Badass.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking about my next book, I really wanted to bring You Are a Badass at Making Money because I'm listening to it right now, and I love it. You have it, so it kind of counts. Yeah. But similar elk here is I Will Teach You to Be Rich. The reason that this is so good is it just like I'm all about simplifying. Like, don't tell me what stocks to invest in. Tell me how to be smart with my money. And like going down to the subconscious of why do I feel the need to spend money? What is it trying to get at? And shifting from lack to abundance, right? You Are a Badass at Making Money is so good. And I want to include that in here. But I also love Rami Sethi, his book, I Will Teach You to Be Rich. He's funny. It's very witty. And it's just like, hey, here's a simple approach to making you feel better when it comes to your finances.
You know what I found so interesting in his book too, how he writes is like, he does spell it like like
here are the cards I use.
Go here. Yes.
Here's why I don't use this bank.
Like no gatekeeping. He's like,
No
this is how you can make money. But then he writes like, and I just telling you right now, you're reading this book. 89% of you aren't going to do these steps because he's like, it's one thing to read it. We all want the information, but then to go and take the steps, like he's like, so many people don't do it. And I'm so guilty of that. I read that book too. And I'm like, oh yeah, I need to go to that website and look at that. And I just haven't.
You know, as much as I'm like, I don't want all these books in my house, like minimalist air on me. There is something like having it stare at you where you're like, let me just pick that back up. You know, on the Kindle, I'm like, it goes away. I don't even look at it. But having this where I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little anxious when it comes to money right now. I have all of these resources. For anyone who also is a Kindle girly or just like doesn't like having all the physical books, Libby is a really good app. It's a like library on an app basically, and you can rent books. So I Am a Badass at Making Money there was an Audible on the Libby app that I didn't pay for.
Speaking of funny.
What? Oh, the book. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you were saying I was funny. Thanks.
I mean, you're funny. But why can't I think of the author's name?
Jen Sincero.
Zen. Jen Sincero is so funny and so good at mindset around something. She wrote a few books and she has like cards in Target too that you can like, I think I got my buddy Ray, these like, you're a badass cards, just you're having a tough day, empowering you.
Yeah.
Or giving you tough love. Cause she's like tough love mixed with humor, mixed with you can do this.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It is everything I need to hear. And then to actually like physically see it and highlight it and like get a plan in place, just like flood my brain with all of this goodness of information that, hey, like I'm not there yet, but I have the tools. Implement one little thing at a time. It's still progress.
Yep. She's like, she amps you up and helps you believe you can. And then he's like, okay, we're in go mode now. Do this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yes.
Just get on the website.
Yeah. So I thought it'd be fun. A little finance, a little protect your peace, a little natural healing.
Good mixture.
It's just kind of like me and a stack of books.
It really is. Those are the things that you're constantly thinking about right there.
Yeah. Setting some boundaries, paying off some debt, healing the bod.
Yes.
Bam.
And I am total mindset, believe in yourself, go after your dreams, set some boundaries, work on your mental health, and then how am I challenging myself at all times?
So as you can see, we hate reading. So comment below what books you're reading right now. What book should we have discussed?
Yes.
We want to know all of the recommendations. What authors would you like to see on the show? We have some really exciting authors coming up next season, and this is for you. So tell us what you want. Also, like no gatekeeping around here. Comment what books you want to see or what you want us to read.
Yeah.
All right. In true Ivy Unleashed fashion, we should read a quote.
A piece of gold.
From one of the books. The one we chose was Protect Your Peace by Trent Shelton. And in the book, he says, stay true to yourself, my friend, and don't let the world's noise drown out your voice.
This is Gold Ivy signing off.
Listen to your truth and go chase your gold.
Woo! Buck nerds. I love them.
I said buck nerds.
Buck nerds?
Buck.
Oh, buck.